Hello and welcome to the program. I am Adeshewa Josh. Let's take you through major headlines around the world. We'll have to start with the new pact Ukraine signed with the EU. Well, the European Union has signed partnership agreement with Ukraine, Georgia and Moldova. The partnership would bind the three countries, the West, economically and politically. Well, this move, the Russian President Vladimir Putin strongly opposed. He says making Ukraine choose between Russia and the EU will split it into two. Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko has already signed the pact and has hailed it as a historic moment and a historic deal for Ukraine.
The signing is a victory for pro-Euro Ukrainians who drove Russian-backed President Viktor Yanukovych from power after he abandoned the pact last year in favor of cash from Moscow. New President Petro Poroshenko hopes to bind the nation of 45 million to the European Union via the accord. The victory was hard-won. It led to Russia's annexation of Crimea from Ukraine and to attempts by pro-Russians in eastern Ukraine to break away and join Russia.
Over the last month, Ukraine paid the highest possible price to make her European dreams come true. It must be worth something, for instance, to finally consider a simple statement of the part of the EU. Once Ukraine will be ready, it will be in. A statement that could cost the EU nothing, but would mean the world of my country.
Ukraine also incurred considerable cost when it lost Crimea. One government minister estimated the country had lost resources worth $10 billion. The agreement with the EU may help offset some of this cost. It falls short of EU membership, but it should tie Kiev economically to the 28-nation European Union. It could offer Ukraine a route to the kind of stability and prosperity that neighboring Poland has achieved. The agreement are the EU's ways of extending influence to its neighbors without offering actual membership. Moldova and Georgia are also signing on Friday. In the long run, Ukraine's economic output could grow an additional 1% a year because of increased exports in goods and services, as well as more European investment in Ukraine. That's according to an EU study. Brussels also hopes that by meeting EU standards for goods and services, Ukraine, Moldova and Georgia will improve their chances of selling more goods internationally beyond the EU. One reason that outsaid Ukrainian President Yanukovych rejected the EU deal in November was because he said it could cost Kiev $500 billion in trade with Russia. Implementing EU standards would cost another $104 billion, he had said. The EU says Ukraine is still free to trade with Russia and it will provide support and funds to help meet EU rules. However, by agreeing to the EU accord, Ukraine can no longer join Russia's customs union because members Belarus and Kazakhstan are not members of the World Trade Organization. EU diplomats are worried that Moscow may take punitive actions against Ukraine, Moldova and Georgia in retaliation for siding with the European Union, an act of commercial aggression.